Classical and modern physics define gravitation through either an attractive external force, Newtonian mechanics, or the intrinsic geometry of four-dimensional spacetime, Einsteinian relativity. While mathematically robust, both models fail to provide a localized physical medium responsible for the uniformity of free-fall velocities across varied masses. This paper introduces a third paradigm, the kinetic grid model. We propose that gravity is not an active pull or a purely empty geometric warp, but rather the localized manifestation of a zero-point vacuum space field. This field is densely populated by massless Planck-scale 1035 rem graviton nodes that permeate all non-solid matter. By factoring in cosmic space expanse, we demonstrate that the localized curved trajectories predicted by general relativity are straightened into direct linear descents. Furthermore, we establish that the uniform velocity of freefall, g 9.8 ms2, is mechanically regulated by the uniform resistance and cushioning of these microscopic nodes, effectively invalidating the necessity of an independent gravitational force. For centuries, the acceleration of a free-falling body toward the Earth's surface has been attributed to an intrinsic property of mass called gravity. Sir Isaac Newton quantified this action by observing that all bodies in freefall accelerate at a constant rate, assuming a vacuum envelope. Newtonian mechanics dictates that this acceleration is driven by an instantaneous external pulling force, Fg=mg. However, this model leaves the physical mechanism of transmission unexplained. Albert Einstein resolved the issue of action at a distance by introducing general relativity, which posits that mass warps the surrounding space-time fabric. Under this framework, a free-falling object experiences zero external force and no true acceleration. It simply pursues the straightest possible path, a geodesic, through a curved geometric continuum. While general relativity successfully treats gravitation as a geometric property rather than a mechanical pull, it leaves a conceptual void regarding the microscopic quantum behavior of the vacuum itself. This paper bridges that gap by redefining the vacuum as an active, particulate matrix that directly governs inertial motion. While relativity establishes that localized mass warps the surrounding space, it often treats the local system in isolation from the broader universe. The kinetic grid model introduces space expanse as a primary variable. Space expanse represents the immense kinetic pressure and volume exerted by the rest of the universe surrounding a localized gravitational well, such as the Earth's atmosphere. When an object enters the Earth's field from deep space, the localized geodesic curvature described by Einstein is subjected to this massive external cosmic pressure. Rather than following a deeply warped parabolic trajectory through an empty void, the expansive pressure of the surrounding space stabilizes and flattens the local geometry. This cross-system interaction forces the freefall trajectory into an almost perfectly straight, aligned vertical path directly to the Earth's surface. This modification extends smoothly beyond the upper atmosphere, providing a unified explanation for orbital transitions and direct atmospheric entry. The assertion that there is no such thing as gravity relies on replacing an abstract pulling force with a tangible, zero-point vacuum space field. In this framework, open space is not an empty void, but a highly structured, dense quantum matrix consisting of graviton nodes. These nodes possess specific physical boundaries designed to satisfy macroscopic observations. Massless property. The particles are strictly massless, n1 0. This ensures they do not contribute to the localized rest mass of the vacuum or introduce independent gravitational collapse. Spatial ubiquity. They fully propagate throughout all regions of the cosmos not actively occupied by solid condensed matter. Microscopic scale. The nodes operate at the highly microscopic Planck scale, quantified on the order of LP, LHAS, HG, GS, C, D3, 10 JAS 35 meters. Note: while frequently referenced via the inverse relative strength of gravity to electromagnetism at 10 J 38, the physical dimensions strictly scale to the Planck threshold. The most compelling evidence for the kinetic grid model lies in its mechanical explanation of Galileo's equivalence principle, why all objects, regardless of mass or composition, freefall at identical rates within a vacuum. In a traditional vacuum chamber, a hammer and a feather fall in perfect unison. Rather than attributing this to an invisible force pulling proportionally harder on the heavier object, the kinetic grid model states that both objects are navigating the exact same dense field of Planck scale nodes. 1. Infiltration. The massless nodes completely permeate the subatomic voids of both the hammer and the feather. 2. Grid regulation. As the objects move through the zero-point space field, the constant density of the nodes acts as a universal cosmic cushion. 3. Velocity unification. The nodes resist and guide the subatomic components of the matter uniformly, regulating their descent velocity to exactly 9.8 mph at sea level. Because the space field matrix is uniform, its interaction with the constituent particles of matter is entirely consistent. The object does not accelerate because it is being dragged down. It moves because it is being uniformly channeled through a pressurized, structured medium. By synthesizing the observational mathematics of Isaac Newton and the geometric insights of Albert Einstein, the kinetic grid model provides the missing mechanical foundation for gravitation. Gravity is decoupled from the concept of an intrinsic attractive force. Instead, it is properly defined as a zero-point vacuum space field calculation, the interaction between localized mass, cosmic space expanse, and a ubiquitous matrix of massless, Planck-scale nodes, provides a clear physical mechanism for the straight-line descent and uniform velocity observed in free-falling matter. This framework opens new pathways for analyzing propulsion and space field manipulation outside the constraints of classical gravitational theory.
Hey. Us for space enthusiasts. Did you know that according to relativity theory, Albert Einstein, nothing can travel faster than light without putting a mark on it? Research entails that Earth attraction model of inertia, slow dragging, energy limits, and even just air makes light speed untouchable. But did you know that taking those limits off of space field expanse gravity, that of outer space which relativity theory places on in space equal to Earth's gravity, that a ship trying to engage faster than light speed mechanics in space, that if the spacecraft had faster than light abilities, meaning it can travel the Einstein limit in empty space, that ship would discover it can travel twice light speed in space. Light speed without Einstein's Earth mechanics would actually travel 372,000 miles a second, showing that on flat space zero-point ratio expanse, having no inertia mechanic limits like relativity theory places on it would make this journey possible. And all that is backed up by research. Hope you liked my video. I mean, why does a plane free fall to the Earth's ground surface and near crash because of gravity, but in space a ship will just sit there when at rest? Hello, I'm Rod Kawecki. I do videos about the universe. Unlike Hubble universe, my videos recognize the depth of space expansion. A depth about space that is bigger than a black hole. It's all part of the same place. Deep space. How does space expanse fit in with the standard physics theory? It fits because space is greatest area of it. E equals mc squared energy propulsion fuel. Problematic system uses oxygen to mix with ignition. In future Starship engines takes us further into the future.